Hello and welcome back to the Elder Scrolls Online Elsweyr. So we are not at the Moon Gate, it's further south. Well, further west, but also south actually. Right, what we have here is instead the village of Hakoshae. We know that because this is the Hakoshae Way Shrine. So I figured, since last time we were doing side quests, this is a side quest that's pretty much along the way. Possibly it's also something further down the line, but this is at least right here. So it made sense, at least when planning this, that we would take this side quest. Probably it's not that long, but if it is too long, well, we'll just make another episode. So this almost looks orcish in its...
Perhaps a direct approach.
Right.
You wouldn't happen to be traveling to the town of Hakoshae, would you?
Why do you ask?
I'm investigating a rumor about the town's leader, Magnate Qa'Rajh. Word has it that she's a descendant of the Akaviri potentate. A rather curious rumor, given that the potentate's bloodline should have been wiped out over a century ago.
And why are you investigating this rumor?
It's a personal matter pertaining to my grandfather's legacy. Painful as it is to say, my family's reputation depends on proving this rumor false. You wouldn't happen to be looking for work, would you? I could use a lending hand.
I can help you investigate this rumor.
Why don't you begin by speaking to the lady in question? The magnate should be in the town square. Strike up a conversation and see what she reveals. In the meantime, I'll begin my own investigation. See what I can dig up.
Can you... well, I'd like to hear more about your grandfather's legacy first.
As an agent of the Qa'Rajh Tong, my grandfather had the honor of executing the last remaining heir of the Akaviri potentate. But here's the tricky bit. My grandfather and the heir both disappeared during the attempt. The Qa'Rajh Tong presumed them dead.
And now you have reason to think otherwise?
If Magnate Qa'Rajh truly is the descendant of the potentate, it proves without a shadow of a doubt that my grandfather failed. And such failure would be a grave dishonor to my family name. That's why I'm keen to prove this rumor false.
Can you tell me more about the town of Hakoshae?
Hakoshae was built after the fall of the Akaviri potentate. It's been, let's see now, a little over 100 years now? Yes, right around that. The town was founded by the Akaviri refugees who fled during that time.
Tell me more about the Akaviri potentate.
Potentate Hakoshae began his political career as advisor to Emperor Riemann III. When the emperor was assassinated, the potentate stepped up as Cyrodiil's leader. Very fortunate for Hakoshae, of course. He was emperor in all but name.
Did Hakoshae plot the assassination?
So goes the rumors, though nothing was ever proven. Unsurprisingly, an Akaviri on the Ruby Throne created conflict. The potentate was eventually assassinated himself. A few decades later, his heir was similarly slain.
Who assassinated
The
them?
Qa'Rajh Tong, of course. Who else would be so competent? Following the death of potentate Severian Qa'Rajh and
Wow.
his heirs, a large number of Akaviri and their followers left Cyrodiil. Many wound up here, in Elsweyr.
He seems a bit fond of the Qa'Rajh Tong. Who, well, in other Elder Scrolls games, they don't really show up in the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. There are two Qa'Rajh Tong agents who camp out in eastern part of Cyrodiil, and they essentially are just reskinned bandits in that if you come close to the camp, they become hostile and attack you. I think there was meant to be a quest involving them, but it was never made, so they just sort of fill in a blank space, essentially. In Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, you don't really get to do something with the Qa'Rajh Tong per se. However, agents of the Qa'Rajh Tong do show up in the DLC Dragonborn, where they run assassinations and thugs and mercenaries, and are trying to stop the Dragonborn from doing whatever it is they're doing, but unrelated to Qa'Rajh's bidding. So, yeah, a society of assassins that isn't the Dark Brotherhood, but is still perhaps even more powerful in terms of political clout. This could go dark. And he seems a little happy about them. Well, tell me more about the Akaviri.
The Akaviri come from the land of Akavir, a continent east of Tamriel. They first invaded Tamriel in the First Era, but were ultimately convinced to join the Empire. Hakoshae is populated by their descendants.
And you said the Akaviri who founded Hakoshae were refugees?
Yes. The Akaviri took the fall of the potentate as a rather obvious sign that they were no longer welcomed in Cyrodiil. Many of them fled to Elsweyr. Hakoshae is but one of the settlements that was founded.
So the people of Hakoshae are all Akaviri?
I suppose that's a matter of perspective. After all, generations of imperial marriages have considerably thinned the bloodline. Still, Hakoshae does strive to maintain Akaviri culture and customs, starting with the town's rather distinct name.
Well, at least it seems peaceful for now. However, I will say that while I was getting to here, I was also looking for loot, and I found a place called Hakoshae Tombs, which was enterable. So, yeah.
I haven't been able to sleep all week. Please, can't you do something?
Of course. I'll have the town guards investigate tonight.
Thank you, Magnate Qa'Rajh.
And who do we have here? Come, let us speak.
No, I was going to
Welcome
anyway.
to the town of Hakoshae. I must say it is not often I see a new face. Have you perhaps come to take part in our festival?
Festival?
The Proving Festival, yes. Through a series of trials, the people of Hakoshae must prove themselves to their ancestors. We do so by completing 3 trials, otherwise known as the 3 proofs.
Can you tell me more about these 3 proofs?
First, the proof of reference calls on our ancestors to witness our deeds. Second, the proof of strength displays our might and bravery. Lastly, the proof of wisdom tests our knowledge and wit. Through these trials, we show our
I'd like to join this festival if I may.
Of course. I'm sure you too have ancestors you wish to honor. First, you must speak with Domitia Nasica. You'll find her just by the river. Listen well to her words, for she will guide you through your first trial.
Alright, I'll talk to Domitia Nasica.
Let me know if you have any other questions. I realize that Hakoshae can be quite the curiosity for travelers such as yourself.
Tell me more about the
Hakoshae is
town.
known for its Akaviri ancestry. The truth is that our imperial bloodline runs far richer. Still, we honor our Akaviri ancestors by maintaining some of their customs. The Proving Festival is a shining example of that.
Can you tell me more about yourself?
I hold the title of Magnate, though I have no emperor who supports me. Still, my family has led Hakoshae since its founding, and chose to take the title to reflect that role. It has been my honor to lead this town for over 10 years now.
Why has your family always led the town?
Because it was our family who founded it. My ancestors wished to create a place of safety and peace, where Akaviri traditions could continue to be passed down and honored. A goal I still strive to respect to this day.
I can't help but notice your name. Is it Akaviri?
Yes, as is my family's tradition. We tend to keep closer to our Akaviri heritage than most. I even speak a little of the language, though I suspect my accent is quite atrocious.
I couldn't help but overhear your conversation earlier. Some sort of trouble?
Nothing to worry about. Domitia just hasn't been sleeping well. She believes there's something prowling around her house at night. I suspect it to be just bad dreams.
But you're going to have the town guard search.
Of course. I'd never dismiss a citizen who seeks my aid. Having the town guards investigate will help ease Domitia's fears. That alone may be enough to stop her nightmares. And if the dreams continue, I'll make sure she's seen by a healer.
I see. Tell me about Hakoshae.
Though Hakoshae is known for its Akaviri ancestry, the truth is that our imperial bloodline runs far richer. Still, we honor our Akaviri.
Right. Tell me about the festival.
The Proving Festival has not been celebrated since Hakoshae was first founded. I didn't even know it existed until I found a first-hand account of the festival in my family's records. It's been quite the challenge getting everyone up to speed.
Why did Hakoshae stop celebrating it?
I'm not sure. Perhaps the town just wasn't interested in celebrations when Hakoshae was first founded. They were refugees, after all. You can read about it yourself if you're so inclined. I happen to have the book with me.
The Proving Festival. The Proving Festival by Laie Palak Rulikian, 14th of Hearthfire. Hakoshae is but a pale light compared to the radiance of Imperial City. Our homes are simple, our lives filled with daily toil. My once soft hands are now covered with calluses and dirt, but still we are safe. The magnate has even announced we will be starting the Proving Festival soon. For once in my life, I have no worry about dishonoring my ancestors. I have traveled long and worked hard to help build Hakoshae. I am sure my actions have pleased those who came before me. 18th of Hearthfire. The Proving Festival has begun, though it is laced with a bittersweet taste. I cannot help but remember that a mere 3 years ago, when we held this same celebration in our family's beautiful estate, there was feasting, dancing, music, and more. 1,000 stories were told, 1,000 songs were sung, and beautiful decorations covered our home. The Proving Festival in Hakoshae is a far simpler affair. There are no feasts, for we have little food to sustain us. There are no decorations, for all our efforts have gone to building the town we now call home. The stories of grand adventures are told by tired elders and the labors of their day clinging heavily to their voices. But still, I am grateful for the magnate's decision. It is good to feel Akaviri again. 20th of Hearthfire. My sister spoke of a strange noise she heard last night, slow, stumbling steps near her window. She awoke, but was too afraid to look outside. I told her that there was nothing to worry about, but my heart is now heavy. Everyone knows that our festival calls upon our ancestors to judge us. Depending on how well we have honored them, they will send us good fortune or bad luck. But to cross over to the realm of the living means that they have been greatly angered. I only pray that my ancestors were not the ones who visited Hakoshae last night. May they watch over us always and happily remain within the afterlife. 22nd of Hearthfire. The Proving Festival is complete, and no one has died a horrific death. I now believe my sister's story to be just a dream. Foolish of me to buy into her nightmares. The closing ceremony had a strange air, however. The magnate, a usually solemn and stern man, seemed even more grim today. He spoke of the festival and how we had honored our ancestors, a common speech once that I've heard my own father recite many times. But then he talked about how our actions every day prove ourselves to our ancestors, that we shouldn't have to beg for them for attention or prove ourselves with silly tasks and meaningless riddles, that just by building and maintaining Hakoshae, we have done more than enough to please those that came before us. I am unsettled by these statements. It almost sounds as if the magnate does not wish to hold the Proving Festival next year. I sincerely hope this not to be the case, and of course, this Hearthfire we celebrated an important part of Akaviri culture. I would hate for us to give that up, as we have already given up so much. Interesting. It's a neat little town. It's actually fairly sprawling when you get down to it. She's here. Oh, almost a small dugout.
Oh, you're that traveler I saw earlier. Do you need something?
The magnate had allowed me to join the festival and said that I should speak to you.
Truly, that was certainly nice of her. Your first step is to complete the proof of reverence. This trial allows us to call upon our ancestors to watch over us, as we prove ourselves worthy of their name.
How do I do
With
that?
this paper lotus, write the names of your honored ancestors on its petals, and place the lotus in the river. This will allow it to float into the afterlife. Think of it like a calling card, a way to get your ancestors to pay attention.
I'll place the paper lotus in the river.
Return to me when you've completed your task. Oh, and feel free to ask any questions you may have. This is Hakoshae's first proving festival in over a century, after all. I'm sure you're just as curious as everyone else.
How do you feel about the
Excited,
proving
of
festival after
course.
so long?
Honestly, I'm shocked we gave up the tradition in the first place. No one even remembered the festival existed until the magnate found an old record about it.
If it's not a tradition, why did Hakoshae decide to have the festival now?
Our town doesn't have much wealth or power, but we do take pride in our ancestry. Learning about our Akaviri culture and celebrating it is important to us. And the Proving Festival is the perfect way to do just that.
Very well. Tell me about the proof of wisdom.
Before we can prove ourselves to our ancestors, we must first get their attention. The paper lotus acts as a ceremonial letter of sorts. By placing it into the river, we allow it to be carried into the realm of the dead.
Is that based on an Akaviri belief?
Yes, it is. The Akaviri believe that all waterways connect the realms of the living and dead. There are many folktales about boats being lost in heavy fog and landing on shores filled with restless spirits.
And do you believe that?
I used to, when I was little. Whenever I would go jump in a puddle, my mother would yell, "Stop that! You'll fall right into the afterlife." Truthfully, though, she just didn't want my dress to get muddy.
Aw, that's kind of adorable. And you said this was your first proving festival.
Excited, of course. Honestly, I'm shocked we gave up the tradition in the first place.
Goodbye. Paper lotus. Ooh. So, what's going to happen to that paper lotus? Is there going to be some massive fish that just comes up and just instantly snaps it away? Or is it actually going to float? I'm gonna follow up on this. I'm definitely seeing where this flower is going. Is it just going to disappear, or is it actually following the... Well, so far it's following the stream. It does seem to get a little shallow here, but the flower floats on the surface, so it shouldn't. Oh. I'm guessing it doesn't come out on the other side. Oh. I'm a little saddened about that. I kind of wanted to make a whole bit out of following it all the way. Well, alright.
Through this proof, you have shown reverence. Well done. Next is the proof of strength. You'll need to... I'm sorry. I'm just so tired today. There's been a lot of strange noises at night lately, and I haven't slept very well.
Is that what you and the magnate were talking about?
You overheard that? Ah, well, yes. I've started hearing noises at night. Heavy breathing, uneven footsteps that seem to shuffle about. At first I thought I was dreaming it all, but now I am not too sure.
Any idea what it might be?
I don't, though the magnate has promised to send a patrol out tonight. Hopefully they'll find whatever it is. But you've got a proof to complete. Head over to Vectrasi for your next task. He's just a little ways west of here, right up the hill.
Alright, I'll head to
Good
Vectrasi.
luck with the proof of strength, and let me know if you need anything. Before we can prove ourselves to our ancestors, we must...
I didn't actually mean to re-talk to her about Vectrasi Secunia. The Secunia part sounds like a flower.
What can I do for you, traveler?
I'm here to complete the proof of strength. The magnate gave me permission.
You wish to prove yourself before your ancestors. Very well. To the north lies a cave wherein beautiful sugar daisies grow. Bring me one and you will have proved your strength.
How does that prove my strength?
Ah, didn't I mention? The cave also happens to be a cinch lion lair, and I doubt the beasts will be particularly fond of your intrusion. Best of luck, traveler.
Alright, I'll bring back your
Make
flower.
sure to keep your senses about you. Cinch lions aren't beasts to take lightly.
Tell me more about the proof of
The
strength.
Akaviri have always placed a great emphasis on martial prowess. The proof of strength shows our ancestors that we remain strong and are prepared to face any danger that may befall us.
Are the Akaviri known as great warriors?
Greatest. Akaviri warriors are known for both their might and magic. It was only because of their aid that General Riemann was able to pacify all of Tamriel under his rule. Why, it was Akaviri who founded the Dragon Guard.
The Dragon
Proud
God?
warriors who formed the Dragonborn Riemann's personal guard. Unfortunately, they seem to have disbanded after the Akaviri potentate fell. I still think they're around, though, waiting for their moment to return.
Okay, where is this cave? Okay. Oh! Well, should have seen that coming. I don't suppose it'll hurt. Whoop! Yeah, do your puddle thing. Well, I'll be. How are we looking for time? This might be a longer running one, but we'll see to it. If the cave is a simple task, it will be quite a ways done with this side quest. Not that I'd want to rush through it, mind you. But I am in it for the sake of the lore. That it, well, already it had shown a great deal of not what I wanted. It have shown a great deal of lore, adding the Akaviri into the mixture, I would say. No need to fight those outside. I'm sure we'll get to spots in here where we'll have to fight anyway. Don't tell me it's... Oh. Okay, that's gonna be mildly tricky. Not impossible, but... No. Ah, bugger. What? Oh my. Nope, not dealing with it. What? Oh, the caves. Right. Did you kill my Flappy? That's not nice. Stop doing that. Okay, well that was a little more complex than I had bargained for, but well, I would say that this is an acceptable, because it basically was, okay, no, it was an acceptable outage of action. Okay, so going past these groups again, it's going to be a little tricky, but we can just sprint it. No, I am too far away, and you cannot catch me. Because you are a sentient lion, not a sentient leopard. Or a sentient cheetah. That would be. Was it across? Yes. Across and up. Oh, wait a minute. Is that... No, that's just a fishing spot. For a brief second there, I thought it was a treasure chest lying hidden in the bank of the waterfall, but it was not. All right.
You have the look of victory about you. Tell me, were you successful?
I found the flower. Here you go.
Most impressive. I'd say you've certainly made your ancestors proud. Good thing, too. Wouldn't want any unhappy spirits mucking about Hakoshae. They bring all sorts of misfortune.
Is this another Akaviri belief?
Quite right. It's part of why honoring our ancestors is so important. Happy ancestors gift their descendants with good fortune. Wrathful ancestors, well, they do just the opposite. They curse us with misery, desolation, even death.
Death?
Yes, death. Of course, you'd need to perform a great dishonor for such a punishment. Not that you have to worry about that. You've proven both your reverence and strength. Now, it's time to test your wit. Head to the town square and speak to Valoria.
All right, I'll go speak to Valoria.
Don't dawdle now. The proof of wisdom awaits you back in Hakoshae.
Okay, where would she... Oh, is there crafting materials here or a crafting station? Clever Kyle Palmer and the Great Boast. Huh. Well, it wasn't a law book, but of course it did contain law by its very nature. Ooh! Yoink! Okay.
Why, if it isn't our town's mysterious stranger. Magnet Fena Derak told me all about your participation. Have you completed the first two proofs?
I have, and I was told to speak to you.
Excellent, excellent. Then you are ready for the proof of wisdom. I am most useful when empty. I am most generous when full. What am I?
I have to solve a riddle?
Of course. What better way to show your wisdom? The riddle describes one of the items on this table. Choose the correct item and bring it to me. Only then will you pass the trial.
I'll return with the
Best of
correct
luck,
item.
dear. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Tell me about the proof of wisdom.
Akaviri history. The proof of wisdom has been performed in a number of ways. Scholars draft grand essays, writers compose ornate poems, philosophers perform lengthy debates. But for Hakoshae, we went with riddles.
Why riddles?
The people of Hakoshae are simple folk, and our great scholars are few and far between. A modest trial keeps morale up, while still honoring our ancestors. However, we did get a few essay submissions for the magnate to review.
Is the magnate a scholar then?
Of course, just like the rest of her family. Every Akaviri text we have is safely contained within the magnate's home, and she makes sure to study them. Even teaches the young ones a bit of the language.
Alright, can you tell me the riddle
I am
again?
most useful when empty. I am most generous when full. What am I?
Okay, let's see what the items are. On the table. Oh, here. So let's see, we have a bowl, a candle, and a potion. So, useful would likely be the potion. It is most useful when full. However, a potion is not particularly generous when empty. And that was the word that struck me out. The candle that's definitely a no-go. So it's the bowl that's the right choice, yeah. At least I'm fairly sure of that. We'll see.
You've returned. Tell me, what item did you bring?
A bowl.
Yes, that is indeed the answer. Oh, I'm just so happy you guessed correctly. I was a little worried my riddle was too obscure. I had hoped Magnate Faina Darak would provide a riddle, but she's had her hands full with the festival. Poor thing.
Poor thing.
She just has a lot riding on her shoulders. We're all seeking to honor our ancestors, but the Magnate's ancestors are a bit, harder to live up to. I'm sure it's created a good deal of stress.
I see, thank
May
you.
your ancestors be pleased by your actions, traveler.
Oh, ashtray is right here. Well, that's convenient.
I'm sure you've heard a great deal about Akaviri culture today, but tell me, did you learn anything about the magnate herself?
Her family has led a Hakoshae since its founding. She is well respected and scholarly. Does that help?
Everything you've learned seems to support the rumor. A descendant of the potentate would certainly be given such privileges. However, my investigation calls for more concrete proof. A document would be best.
Where would we find such a document? See, I have a bad feeling about this guy that if the rumor turns out to be true that his grandfather failed, then he will assassinate the magnate just for the sake of, honor on my family, so I guess I have to kill you. That kind of bullshit I won't have, but, well, let's see, where would we find such a document?
I've made some inquiries of my own. It seems that Magnate Faina Darak has quite a few records in the cellar of her home. We'll need to break in and search her documents.
And how do you suppose that we break in?
We need a key, and I'm positive the captain of the guard carries one. If you will do me the kindness of chatting him up for a bit, I'll do my best to obtain the key. Should all go well, we'll be in and out before anyone notices.
That has trouble written all over it. Alright, I'll distract the guard.
Let's get moving then.
Alright, so I could have asked those questions once more. Captain Virus.
Greetings. Say, aren't you the traveler who joined the proving festival?
I'm the traveler who completed the proving festival.
Are you now? Well, that's certainly an impressive feat. Honestly, this whole affair has been nerve-wracking for me. I'm not too keen on dishonoring my ancestors. Who knows what misfortune would befall me?
Were you able to complete the 3 proofs?
To be honest, barely. The first 2 proofs were easy enough. Threw a paper lotus in the river, grabbed a sugar daisy for Vecdrasi. But that last proof, well, it stumped me. Couldn't for the life of me figure out the riddle.
How did you solve it?
I'll admit it, I had a little help. Magnate Fena Darok gave me a hint. She's a gracious lady, our Magnate. Always helping out folks in need. I'm not sure how Hakoshae would fare without her.
It's the entire fact that he has this line of dialogue. I'm not sure how the town would fare without her. If that isn't that, yeah, this character is going to die. I don't know what is. Well, I see. Well, I'd best be off. Great. Yeah, more and more are pointing towards our friend being an assassin.
Quickly now, let's head inside.
Alright, I'll humor you. Why is there red mist coming out from underneath that? Well,
That's certainly odd. There must be something here to take down that barrier.
I'm going for loot first. Earth, fire, and water, and wind. Okay. Ha! Well, I think I know where to use them. Right.
I'm willing to
Tale
bet
of the
this
Elements
tablet would fit
by
rather
Nale
nicely
Pulik.
into these sockets on the floor.
Yes. Now, would you please be quiet while I read? Thank you. Tale of the Elements by Nele Pulik, poet laureate of to potentate Residue Shea. Men raises his mighty staff, and so lights up the east. Caesar waves her graceful wand, and so drowns the south. Nypha stomps his boots in anger, and so rumbles the north. Alni flutters her colorful fan, and so blows towards the west. Okay. So, place the fire tablet is our first hint. So I think that east is definitely wind. Let's see. Wait, no, that's fire. That's not right. Get back here.
Well, that certainly wasn't right. Care to try again?
Oh. Okay, so fire. Let's see. What was it? Graceful wand and drown. So that's water. Stomps his boot in anger and rumble. That okay. Lights up. So that's e. That was that. What? East is fire. Oh. What have we got then? Wind. That was west. Earth would be north. And water would be south.
Looks like that did it. Let's head in. The
You're
man
an
left a
assassin
letter
and I
on the
know it.
desk. Interesting, don't you think?
If I have to punch an assassin, I will. If I have to kill an assassin, I will. Alright, let's see. My dearest Faina Darak, I know that our family carries many burdens. One day you will lead Hakoshae and ensure the prosperity of our people. For it is you who carries the blood of the potentate, a connection which proves both a blessing and a curse. You must prepare. Our family has never allowed word of our lineage to go beyond Hakoshae's walls for good reason. The Morak tongue still haunts the shadows of Tamriel, and they will not take such news lightly. As descendants of the potentate, we are seen as loose ends to tie up. To ensure our family's safety, we must closely guard this secret. It is the only way for Rio's mother. Yeah, I knew it.
Confirms that the magnate is descended from the potentate. What a pity.
Just what are you two doing here?
Yeah, you're
a
traitor! How dare
yeah, he's an assassin.
to be of my blood?
What? What's happening? Please, no!
Vegetal.
Well, you were going to kill her, weren't you?
It seems we've confirmed that Faina Darak is a descendant of the potentate. Just in time for her to be whisked away by some vengeful spirit. Just my luck.
Why would a spirit abduct the
Isn't
magnate?
that part of the Akaviri's beliefs? Disrespect your ancestors and they'll have their revenge. And given the spirit's armor, he was definitely Akaviri. Huh. Makes me wonder what the magnate did to deserve such a fate.
So you believe that the spirit is one of Magnate Faina Darak's ancestors?
I'm not sure, but it's as good a guess as any. Given the turn of events, we'd best go after them. Perhaps the local tombs? If I know ghosts, they don't often wander far from their graves.
Given the turn of events, what do you mean by that?
Akaviri is so upset with the magnate
I
that
mean-
he's returned from the dead. And if I'm to see this investigation through to the end, I need to learn why. Let's head to the tombs. It's just east of the
Yeah,
town square.
this guy is an assassin. Alright, let's head to the tombs. Oh boy. Well, we'll head to the tombs in the next episode, so until then, take care.